Hello YouTube. Today we're making a review of this Hoover WindTunnel OnePowr Emerge cordless. This is a vacuum that's a vacuum that hasn't really been bought on Amazon very much. I don't really know else where to buy it. I believe it might be on the Hoover website, but I'm not entirely sure. This particular vacuum is part of Hoover's OnePowr cordless lineup. This includes several different vacuums. It has a Hoover WindTunnel OnePowr. It's kind of like a Hoover Link that they discontinued a few years ago. I believe the Hoover WindTunnel OnePowr is actually the vacuum that replaced it. Then there's a few others, and then there's this model. This particular one, I don't think this is a rebadged Dirt Devil, because I know that many Hoovers are actually like rebadged Dirt Devils that Hoover made, because they're owned by TTI. But anyhow, so they're basically the same company. TTI is the brand that bought out Hoover in 2007. They kind of ruined it. Actually, they definitely ruined it. But this is actually, I think, a pretty good vacuum. Let's dive into the pros and cons. So number one is that I think that this is a very good vacuum to use. Like, it's very easy to push on carpets and hardwood floors. It's got 2 speeds. So it's got low. This is for hardwood floors. So this basically makes the brush roller and the suction motor run at a slower speed than the high speed. So you go on high speed, it's more for like area rugs and carpet. So that's definitely something that I'll mention that I really like compared to other stick vacuums that are actually much more expensive than this, that don't even have that feature. They just run at low speed all the time, or they run at high speed all the time. So that's definitely something that I definitely like about it compared to more expensive stick vacs. 2. I think that this particular model actually has pretty good agitation. So ignore this brush roll here, because it definitely isn't an anti-tangle thing. So it gets quite a bit of hair on it and strings and stuff. But these bristles, if you look at them, they are actually, particularly this particular middle part, it's actually quite long. And this is a hole right here. And I like that TTI did this, because it lets big debris goes through the suction panel here and goes into the brush roll. And in that particular part, right in the middle, the bristles are longer than on the other side. So it actually has very good agitation on this part, but the other parts don't have very good agitation. So that's something I can complain about it. But other than that, it actually has this louver here to get up large debris. So that's definitely a plus. Since it gets up pet hair very well, actually why is because, why did I say that? I'm actually just getting tongue twisted. Anyhow, it gets a pet hair very well because of those very long bristles on the middle part of the brush roll. So what this kind of does is it kind of creates a brush roll that basically gets agitation in the middle instead of getting on the sides. So what this appears to cause is it causes agitation to be a little bit awkward. And that's kind of weird to me, because I just think it's not very good for hardwood floors, because that just causes one part to beat the floors, the other part to not beat the floors. So it's kind of like a little bit awkward. But anyhow, it's still a good feature that it gets to pet hair and sand very well, because it has those very long bristles. 4. It sits upright. The Dyson V15 does not sit upright. It just has a quick lock and just sits right up. The Dyson DC15, which is like, not the DC15, but the V15 or whatever it is, it's like $700. This is like $150. $150 vacuum has a lock there that snaps into that keeps it upright. Now, some unlevel surfaces like this, it can kind of lean a little bit, but if you actually get like right on the rug here, it just is perfectly upright. And that's just very good compared to the Dyson V15. That's $700. It doesn't do that at all. It just flops right back down. The head just sits around. But it's also meant to be hanged on the wall. This is too. But when you hang on the wall, I just recommend just doing it like that, because that's just a better way to do it. So yeah, definitely another thing about it. Number 5. Though it's high pitched, it's actually rather quiet. I can easily use this without ear protectors on. And so this is very much actually quite quiet. Now, it's not quite as quiet as like the Dyson V15, but it's definitely quieter than some of the cheaper models. Like, I believe the Shark Rocket, the corded model, this is kind of a competitor to that. It's much louder than this is, because it's got a more powerful corded motor. But I think that particular model is kind of annoying to use, and that's definitely not a very comfortable vacuum to use. That's something I definitely like about it. So there's the pros. Now, we're going to move on to the cons. So, something I definitely do not like about it is that it's it has rather short battery life, especially when you use it on high. This particular model only lasts about 45 minutes or around 50 minutes with on high speed. And I generally just vacuum like a few, like 5 or 6 rooms with this. I generally just vacuum the living room, the pet room, the bedroom, and the dining room. And then it's generally pretty much empty. It generally has 1 battery life left. So that's definitely a complaint that I don't really like that much. So yeah. It doesn't really deep clean very well. So this is a perfect vacuum for getting rid of pet hair and surface debris because it just gets it up, so sucks it up very well. But it's not good if you're wanting to pick up a lot of deep down debris. If you ever trying to get a lot of deep down debris, I recommend buying an upright of any type. Maybe most likely a Bissell, Oric, or if you really want to spend the money, you could get a sanitary, which is, in my opinion, is one of the best deep cleaners on the market right now. So this is definitely not going near one of those. But in terms of deep cleaning performance, this is not a very good vacuum. It's just better for surface debris and pet hair. Deep down pet hair appears to get that very well due to its long, soft bristles. But for deep down deep cleaning, absolutely not. It doesn't have an anti-hair wrap blush roll. So this is something that a lot of vacuums, modern vacuums have. To me, it's not a big deal, but to some people, it's a very big deal. Is this brush roll just plugged up with hair pretty easily. As you can see, there's all kinds of strings and stuff on it. Shark makes a lot of vacuums that when you suck up stuff like that, it doesn't really bother it. It just gets stuck in a couple pieces, and it just don't even get into it really. So that's something that I kind of don't like about it. But to me, it's not really a big deal. But to some people, it's a very big deal, especially people who have a lot of pets. So yeah, that's definitely something I don't like about it. What you all have been waiting for is this a good vacuum? Yes. I think it's pretty good for someone who wants to get out a lightweight cordless stick vacuum that's rather quiet, just to simply get out their hardwood floors, bedrooms, and carpet and area rugs in a quick, like, 20-minute, area. You don't really want to use it for, like, 5 hours trying to get a whole entire two-story house clean. It's just a good vacuum to zip around with. So, yeah, that's definitely something I like about it. But something that I also really like about it that some people are going to like is that instead of using a battery that you have to plug in, it uses a Hoover 4-amp lithium-ion battery. So, basically what this is, it's kind of like a Ryobi or a Craftsman. You basically just knock it right into the vacuum, has a charger, you just hook it up to that charger, and you're done. So this is very easy to use. Let's dive right into it, let's use it. Battery just snaps in like that. Let's go. High. Quite quiet, but it's still very high pitched. It can get it under furniture very well. It zips around very well, so it maneuvers very well. Has a headlight so you can get around stuff. Runs very good on rugs. Now, that's something that you can't really do about it because it doesn't really work on some rugs, but it definitely works pretty good on some other types of rugs. Shouldn't look at that because that might hurt it. That might damage the brush roll. But yeah, so I'll pick it up. Bring it up to low speed, the brush roll slows down, the motor slows down. And not because you get harder floors. This is where it's very quiet. I just don't like that high pitch motor. Something that you can do about this Hoover is if you ever wanted to use that as like a stick vac, you can just, it'd be better if I could do this with 2 hands. But you can just remove that piece. Got this part. High and low. Then sometimes you can also just remove this piece. And now, basically got your own stick vac. So I just like to generally just stab this piece right in here. Set that right there. Now basically yourself a hand vac. That's quite a bit of suction, to be honest. Pedestal. See if I can get this piece off. Oh yeah. Now I got some of the upholstery tools. This is good for like vacuuming out your car. Like the upholstery tool doesn't appear to let a whole lot of suction through. That's something I don't like about it. Take down the suction a little bit. But it appears to get that up pretty well. So overall, do I really like this vacuum? Absolutely. I think it's actually my favorite stick vac I've ever used. And I actually recommend it to a lot of people, especially those who have pets or messy children who put a lot of stuff on the ground. I think that this is a very good vacuum to just get up and zip around with and then be done with it. And as you can see, in that time period I used it, it's got free dots left in the battery. That basically indicates how much battery got left. It's on 1, I recommend you just put it right up and charge it. It generally takes about an hour to charge. I got here at around 2, and that's when I put on the charger, and it's like 4 now, and it's already fully charged. So, do I recommend this vacuum? Absolutely. So, like, subscribe, leave comments, and always, there's your dinner.